man who you probably have never heard about. The wife of this man here, his name, my brother, my sister, is Lieutenant General Akwesi Afrifa. Akwesi Amankwa Afrifa, A.A. Afrifa. His wife, her name is Christine Afrifa. Christina Afrifa or Christine Afrifa. My brother, my sister, the story is about to shock you. Afrifa himself was born on the 24th of April, 1939. I beg your pardon, 1936. 1936, and he died. In fact, he was executed by firing squad on the 26th of June, 1979. He was picked up from his farm in Krobo and brought all the way to Accra in the Rawlings regime, shot and killed in cold blood. Before then, he had written a letter to his colleagues in the NMC 1 and 2, telling them, my brother, my sister, that things were happening in the country. He had earlier written a letter to a very good friend of his in the in the NLC, National Liberation Council, and the NLM, National Liberation Movement. My brother, my sister, warning of repercussions. My brother, my sister, and his words came to pass. My brother, my sister, today we have some interesting story to share with you. Today we are not talking about Afrifa, and for that matter we will not go too deep into him. He was friends with Emmanuel Kwesi Kotoka. He was part of the coup that kicked out Nkrumah. My brother, my sister, it's a very deep story. I'm not going to be tempted. I will continue to talk about his wife, Christine Afrifa. Now, Christine Afrifa was born Christine Susanna Adakwe. Christine Susanna Adakwe. Susanna is spelled S-U-S-S-A-N-A. Adakwe is A-D-D-A-Q-U-A-Y. My brother, my sister, she met and married Akwesi Amankwa Afrifa. My brother, my sister, in 1968. Yes, she got married to Afrifa in 1968. Remember, Afrifa himself was born in 1936. So he was 32 years, very young, when he married this beautiful lady. And as fate would have it, the following year, in 1969, Afrifa became head of state of Ghana. September 1969. So just married fresh, and boom, the following year, she became First Lady of Ghana. Hey, things were moving very fast and quick. First Lady of Ghana. Hey. And when civilian rule was restored via Kofi Abrifa Buzia, and who became the Prime Minister of Ghana, Afrifa was still lurking in the shadows as a very prominent figure. My brother, my sister, watch this interesting thing. Now, after Afrifa became head of state in 1969, working hand in hand with Kofi Afrifa Buzia, my brother, my sister, he was a man who was seen to be straight. Yes, he didn't like Nkrumah. He was one of those that kicked out Nkrumah. But many people knew him for his integrity. My brother, my sister, when Rawlings took over power in 1979, something terrible happened to Afrifa. But before then, let's take you through the life of his wife, Christine Afrifa, nee Christine Susanna Adokwe. See what happened. Now, Christine, after just 1 year of marriage, became First Lady of Ghana. She was all over the place. My brother, my sister, the beautiful wife of Afrifa. And when Achampong came over and took power, SMC 1, SMC 2, remember, we all remember that, right? Achampong took over power, and Afrifa went quietly to find out why the regime of Buzia had been cut so short, because it was a civilian rule. Achampong became angry, I.K. Achampong, and arrested A.A. Afrifa and locked him up at the James Fort prison for 18 solid months. At that time, the James Fort prison was a women's prison. He was the only male prisoner in there. But in order that Afrifa will not do justice to the female prisoners, they locked him up in solitary confinement. He was alone in the room, not allowed to talk to any woman. He heard their voices, but he could never interact with them. For 18 solid months, he was in there. General I.K. Achampong had locked him up for coming to ask him, why did you stage a coup? And knowing very well that Afrifa was a coup maker, and the fact that he, I.K. Achampong, was a huge fan and admirer of Kwame Nkrumah, and was even planning to bring Kwame Nkrumah back into the country. My brother, my sister, Afrifa was locked up for 18 months. When he was finally freed, he was tormented. Tormented seriously. To the point that he had to run away in exile to Togo. And from Togo, he flew all the way to London to hide. After some time, he returned to Ghana and went straight to Krobo, his hometown, where he started farming. In fact, my brother, my sister, according to his wife, Christine, who we are talking about today, she went through hell at a point when the harassment was becoming too much. Afrifa told her, you know what? You go to London. Stay there for some time. And when everything calms down, everything will be good. Afrifa didn't like the way the soldiers were manipulating the country. And he wrote to his colleagues and told them, hey, the way we are handling this country, though I have retired and I'm now farming, I see some young soldier taking over power. And if we are not careful, all of us will be tied to the stake and shot and killed. He prophesied unto himself. Rawlings came in 1979, Afrifa was picked up from his farm and brought to the shooting range at Teshin, where he was shot and killed in cold blood. Madame Christine heard about it. She cried. All Afrifa's possessions were seized. She ran into England, where she naturalized as British. She stayed there until it was time for the reconciliation committee meetings. She came over and begged for her husband's possessions to be returned. They only gave her an old car of Afrifa and her matrimonial home. Nothing more. Everything was seized. In Kufuor's era, she was paid the retirement benefits of Afrifa. She was receiving monthly allowances for her husband's retirement. Unfortunately, at a point, it got cut off. My brother, my sister, this is the wife of Afrifa, Mrs Christine Afrifa, nee Mrs Christine, I beg your pardon, nee Christine Susanna Adekwe. Today we remember this wonderful woman. She had 7 children with Afrifa. And in her own words, she doesn't want revenge. Revenge is poisonous. She's not angry at who killed her husband. She's preaching forgiveness, and she's asking all her 7 children to stay away from anything that is vengeful. They should just live positive. Yes. Today we've been talking about this great black woman, my brother, my sister, and it is my prayer that she would have it in her heart to truly forgive and preach the peace that she is preaching. It's been the African History class, and today we've been talking about Mrs. Christine Afrifa.
The emperor, the conqueror, the champion, the lion is here.